It was from the Ottomans that the Europeans received both the maps and the telescopes which would allow them to cross the ocean to the New World, to the garden of earthly delights which the Americas offered. Perhaps received is not the correct word, given that European history tends to credit itself with the discovery of something of which the Arabs already had awareness. In the Egyptian desert are intact remains of large ocean-going vessels, boats which were not the traditional flat-bottomed Nile cruisers, but rather designed for the conditions of ocean travel. Initially, Eurocentric scientists declared that these were buried as crafts for the dead to utilize to transport them to the underworld, much like the furniture and other artifacts which they had unearthed in tombs. However, they were not buried with the dead, but rather in what later were understood to be marinas with access to the Nile, suggesting that at one time the desert was not such a desert after all, and that water was far more plentiful than originally believed. Further contemporary research has revealed that much of the Sahara was at one time a vast and fertile savanna. Not all that long ago, relatively speaking, only 10,000 years ago, where I currently live was under 1,000 feet of glacial ice, and the general climate of the globe was considerably cooler. What are scorched deserts today were not so then. What we assume about human history as a steady movement forward and upward is now being considered as less than accurate. There is strong evidence globally that humanity had reached even greater advancement than we currently experience and had fallen into darkness, a return to a primitive, ignorant state. The Garden of Eden, the story, shows up in myth everywhere, one of which is Atlantis, a global civilization which reached heights of awareness of which we are only just beginning to approach, and which then seem to vanish, to submerge in some way. What was up must come down, and what was submerged must once again surface.